A Diversity Job Guide 5. Chapter 1. A Diversity Job Website Guide at career.fsu.edu/resources/career-guides. Diversity Job Websites. careeronestop.org/default.aspx?lang=es, Career Honestop, Spanish. MeProximoPaso.org, Me Proximo Paso, Spanish. bit.ly/2uj2bwz, AARP's Life Reimagined. bit.ly/2ujvg4h, Diversity Employers. bit.ly/2vcryks, Corporate Equality Index, LGBT Equal Rights. Corporate Equality Index, LGBT Equal Rights. bit.ly/2tg3rpd, Human Rights Campaign, HRC, Human Rights Campaign, HRC. bit.ly/2u8eogia, imdiversity.com. bit.ly/2ujffg, LatPro. bit.ly/2udbylg, U.S. Department of Labor, Women's Bureau. bit.ly/2ujk4yo, Women for Hire. Disability Jobs. velvetjobs.com/articles/insights/employment-disability-resources #disability-podcasts. bit.ly/2td9k4, Americans with Disabilities Resources. bit.ly/2u5raquel, Career Opportunities for Students with Disabilities, COSD. bit.ly/2qggn8j, Disability in Inclusion Works. bit.ly/2ufxjss, Job Accommodation Network. bit.ly/2tcvnwa, Lime Connect, Lime Connect. bit.ly/2ug1jcz, National Business and Disability Council. bit.ly/2tdh2by, Workforce Recruitment Program. Undocumented/illegal alien job websites. bit.ly/2vdktwa, National Immigration Center DACA Workplace Rights. bit.ly/2glchugn, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services DACA. Resources. bit.ly/2sum1z5, Scholarships available to undocumented students. Veteran job websites. bit.ly/2tcklim, Career Honestop, Career Honestop. bit.ly/2glts4l, Employ. veteran.employflorida.com/vosnet/default.aspx. Florida's Veterans. bit.ly/2ubvruc, GI. Jobs. bit.ly/2u90sa6, My Next Move for Veterans. Student Veterans of America.jobs, Student Veterans of America. bit.ly/2uadhh1, Today's Military. bit.ly/2btlrcc, VA Careers and Employment. bit.ly/2tqodzj, Vet Jobs, Vet Jobs. Chapter 2. Diversity Job Websites from careerdevelopment.princeton.edu. Black Job Websites. blackcollegian.com, Black Collegian. blackworld.com. nbmbaa.org, National Black MBA Association. American Indian/Native Alaskan Job Websites. eco.org, Environmental Careers Organization. NativeAmericanJobs.com. NativeJobs.com, Tribal Employment Newsletter. Asian/Pacific Islander American Job Websites. naap.org, naap.org, National Association of Asian American Professionals. Recruit.net. epa.gov/aapi/employment.htm, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. workata.hawaii.edu, Work at University of Hawaii. Hispanic/Latino American Job Websites. hnip.net, HACO National Internship Program. Saludos.com, Saludos Hispanos. Shopee.org, Society of Professional Hispanic Engineers. Latcareers.com, Latcareers. Bilingualdiversity.com, Bilingual Diversity. People with Disabilities job websites. disabilityresources.org/employment.html, Disability Resources Monthly. Washington.edu/DOIT, Do It, Disabilities, Opportunities, Internet Working Technology. Women job websites. Feminist.org, Feminist Majority Foundation Online. JAWS.org, Journalism and Women Symposium. Webgirls.com, Webgirls International Job Bank. WITI4hire.com/candidates, Women in Technology International. GETreadyforcollege.org. GPSLifeplan.org, Minnesota State Colleges and Universities System. iSeek.org, iSeek Solutions College and Career Decisions, iSeek. Chapter 3. A Diversity Medical Job Guide. Diversity medical job websites at explorehealthcareers.org/career-explorer/diversity matters healthcare. Facebook.com/explorehealthcareers. Twitter.com/SEWeb. explorehealthcareers.org/youreducation/paying for college, paying for college. explorehealthcareers.org/youreducation, your education. explorehealthcareers.org/youreducation/paying for college, paying for college. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcare resources, resources. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcare resources/accredited schools programs, accredited schools and programs. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcare resources/diversity links, diversity links. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcare resources/national resources healthcare education, national resources for health career education. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcare resources/organizations healthcare students, organizations for healthcare students. explorehealthcareers.org/jobs, jobs. nhsc.hrsa.gov/core experience/member stories videos, watch providers at work talk. departmenttest.washington.edu/ccph/pdf_sullivan_report_es.pdf, missing persons, minorities in the health professions. content.healthafairs.org/cgi/content/abstract/27/2/413, strategies to increase diversity. advocacy.collegeboard.org/admission completion/access diversity collaborative, access and diversity collaborative, advocacy and policy center, College Board. adea.org/secondary 2column.aspx?ID =11555, access, diversity and inclusion, American Dental Education Association. ahhe.org, Association of Hispanic Healthcare Executives. xculture.org, Cross-Cultural Healthcare Program. aamc.org/initiative/diversity, diversity and inclusion, Association of American Medical Colleges. lchc.org/documents/facts/prof/science diversity_diversity_000.pdf, increasing the number of Latinos in health professions, Latino Coalition for a Healthy California. DiversityConnection.org, Institute for Diversity in Health Management. TheSullivanAlliance.org, The Sullivan Alliance. adea.org/policy_advocaki/workforce_issues. DiversityRx.org, DiversityRx. APIAHF.org, Asian and Pacific Islander American Health Forum. asianhealth.med.nyu.edu, Center for the Study of Asian American Health, NYU Langone Medical Center. xculture.org, Cross-Cultural Healthcare Program. hrsa.gov/cultural competence, culture, language and health literacy, Health Resources and Services Administration. ethnome.org, ethnomed. hablamosjuntos.org, Hablemos juntos. thinkculturalhealth.hhs.gov, Think Cultural Health. futurehealth.ucsf.edu. kff.org/womenshealth/index.cfm, Women's Health Policy, the Henry J. Kaiser Family Foundation. Diversity job websites at explorehealthcareers.org/healthcareresources/diversity links. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcareresources/state resources healthcare education, state resources for health career education. explorehealthcareers.org/healthcareresources. achievingthedream.org, Achieving the Dream. etna.com/diversity. webfiles.uci.edu/mcbrown/display/faces.html, African Americans in the Sciences. math.buffalo.edu/%sign7esww/circle/cl_s site caa.html, African American Science and Technology. aamn.org, American Assembly for Men in Nursing. collegefund.org, American Indian College Fund. aigc.com, American Indian Graduate Center. aihec.org, American Indian Higher Education Consortium. aianhealthcareers.org, American Indians and Alaska Natives in Health Careers. aspira.org, Aspira. aacu.org/resources/diversity/index.cfm, Association of American Colleges and Universities, Diversity and Inclusive Excellence. AIP.org, Association of American Indian Physicians. anamstudents.org, Association of Native American Medical Students. catalyst.org/home, Catalyst. diversityinc.com, Diversity Incorporated. glema.org, Gay and Lesbian Medical Association. hrc.org/hey#.on0dpqk6ea, Healthcare Equality Index. hacu.net/hacu/default.asp?SNED=7741852252, Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. hdAssociation.org, Hispanic Dental Association. hshps.org, Hispanic Serving Health Professions Schools. AmericanSchoolSearch.com/colleges/HBCU, Historically Black Schools, Colleges, and Universities. LMSA.net, Latino Medical Student Association. TheLeadershipAlliance.org, The Leadership Alliance. APHALGBT.org, LGBT Caucus of Public Health Workers. MinorityNurse.com, MinorityNurse.com. MomMD.com, MomMD. NDAOnline.org, National Dental Association. NHMAMD.org, National Hispanic Medical Association. OldPremeds.org, National Society for Non-Traditional Pre-Medical and Medical Students. MinorityHealth.hhs.gov, Office of Minority Health, Department of Health and Human Services. PathwaysIntoHealth.org, Pathways into Health. dentalpipeline.org/index.html, Pipeline, Profession and Practice, Community-Based Dental Education. TheSateOnline.org, Society of American Indian Dentistry. SACNAS.org, Society for the Advancement of Chicanos and Native Americans in Science. SNDANet.org, Student National Dental Association. SNMA.org, Student National Medical Association. SNPHA.com, Student National Pharmaceutical Association. TheSullivanAlliance.org/index.html, The Sullivan Alliance. TourForDiversity.org, Tour for Diversity in Medicine. UNCF.org, United Negro College Fund Incorporated. VentureChola.org, Venture Scholars Program. Chapter 4. Diversity Nonprofits in the D.C. Area. African Community D.C. Area Nonprofit Websites. The Africa Faith and Justice Network. 202-817-3670. AFJN.org. 3025 4th Street Northeast Suite 122 Washington, D.C. 20017. African Immigrant and Refugee Foundation. 301-593-0241, volunteer. airfound.org. 11350 Baroque Road No. 100 Silver Spring, Maryland 20901. African Wildlife Foundation. The African Wildlife Foundation. 202-939-3333. awf.org. awf.org. 1100 New Jersey Avenue Southeast Suite 900 Washington, D.C. 20003. Africa Care. 202-462-36. 14, info. africary.org. 440 R. St. N.W., Washington, D.C. 20001. The Ark Foundation of Africa. 202-832-5420. arkafrica.org. 1002 Maryland Avenue Northeast Washington, D.C. 20002. Arlington Academy of Hope, A. Helps children in rural Uganda. 703-879-6034. auganda.org. 3100 Clarendon Boulevard, Arlington, Virginia 22201. Corporate Council on Africa. 202-835-1115. africacncl.org/corporate-cu-nci-lonafrica.com. 1100 17th Street Northwest Suite 1200 Washington, D.C. 20036. Ethiopian Community Development Council Incorporated. ECDC. ecdcinternational.org, 703-685-0510. ecdcus.org. 901S. Highland St., Arlington, Virginia 22204. Fahankra Akoma Antozo, FAN. Positive Youth Development Perspective to DC Youth in Foster Care. 202-380-9390, info. fan-dc.org. 2815 Stanton Road Southeast Washington, D.C. 20020. Institute for East African Councils on Higher Education, IEA. IEAcouncils.org, 202-997-6684. IEAcouncils.org. 3636 16th Street NW Washington, D.C. 20010. Refugee Council USA. rcusa.org. 1628 16th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. Refugees International. refugeesinternational.org, 202-828-0110. 1800 M St. N.W. Suite 405 N Washington, D.C. 20036. Asian American and Pacific Islander D.C. area nonprofit websites. Asian American Lead. ALEAD. 202-884-0322. aalead.org. 1029 Vermont Avenue Northwest Suite 810 Washington, D.C. 20005. Association of Vietnamese Americans. 301-588-6862. avaus.org. 8121 Georgia Avenue Suite 503 Silver Spring, Maryland 20910. Hmong National Development Incorporated. 844-454-1144. hndinc.org. 1322 18th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20036. SALT South Asian Americans Leading Together. 301-270-1855. SALT.org. 6930 Carroll Avenue Suite 506 Tacoma Park, Maryland 20912. Vietnamese American Community Service Center. 202-257-4627. vaccine.tripod.com. 2437 15th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. Black DC area nonprofit websites. National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. 202-667-1700. NAACPDC.org. 1000 U Street NW Suite 100 Washington, D.C. 20001. National Black Justice Coalition. 202-319-1552. NBJC.org. Operation Understanding D.C. 202-234-6832. UDC.org. 3000 Connecticut Avenue NW Suite 335, Washington, D.C. 20008. The Bethune-Du-Bois Institute. 301-562-8300. Bethune-Dubois.org. 8630 Fenton Street Suite 730 Silver Spring, Maryland 20910. The Education Trust. 202-293-1217x300. edtrust.org. 1250 HST, NW Suite 700, Washington, D.C. 20005. International and Multicultural D.C. Area Nonprofit Websites. CARE Coalition. 202-331-3320. carecoalition.org. 1612 K Street NW, Suite 204, Washington, D.C. 20006. Lutheran Social Services Refugee Resettlement and Placement. 202-723-3000. lssnca.org. 4406 Georgia Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20011. ARC. East African Children. 202-832-5420. arcafrica.org. 1002 Maryland Avenue Northeast, Washington, D.C. D.C. Peace and Economic Justice Program / American Friends Service Committee. 202-544-0324. afsc.org. washingtonpeacecenter.net. 1822 RSTNW, First Floor, Washington, D.C. 20009. The Foundation for International Community Assistance, FINCA. 202-682-1510. finca.org. 1110 15th Street Northwest Suite 600 Washington, D.C. 20005. Oxfam America. 202-496-1180. 1107 17th Street Northwest number 1300, Washington, D.C. 20036. Partners of the Americas. 202-628-3300. Partners.net. 1424 K Street, NW, Suite 700, Washington, D.C. 20005. Refugee and Immigrant Services. 301-593-0241. 11350 Baroque Road, Silver Spring, Maryland 20901. ECDC. Cultural, Educational, and Socio-Economic Development Programs. Immigrant. Refugee. 703-685-0510. ecdcus.org. ecdcinternational.org. 901 South Highland Street, Arlington, Virginia 22204. Immigration and Refugee Services of America, IRSA. 202-797-2105. irsa-uscr.org. refugiesusa.org. 1717 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest Suite 200 Washington, D.C. 20036. International Rescue Committee, IRC. 301-562-8633. theirc.org. 8700 Georgia Avenue Suite 500 Silver Spring, Maryland 20910. Policy Development and International Awareness. Africa Faith and Justice Network. 202-817-3670. afjn.org. 3025 4th Street Northeast Suite 122 Washington, D.C. 20017. Rural Uganda. PO Box 7694 Arlington, Virginia 22207703609-6830. auganda.org. Citizens for Global Solutions. 202-546-3950. globalsolutions.org. 420 7th Street Southeast Washington, D.C. 20003. The Corporate Council on Africa, CCA. 202-835-1115. africacncl.org. 1100 17th Street Northwest Suite 1000 Washington, D.C. 20036. Nearest metro station C. Farragut North. DebtAids Trade Africa, Data. 202-639-8010. data.org. data.org/1400 I. St. N.W., Washington, D.C. 20005. Global Youth Partnership for Africa, GYPA. 202-756-4601. gypafrica.org. 1101 Pennsylvania Avenue NW Suite 601 Washington, D.C. 20004. Interaction. 202-667-8227. Interaction.org. 1400 16th Street Northwest Suite 210 Washington, D.C. 20036. Institute for Policy Studies. 202-234-9382. 1301 Connecticut Avenue NW, Suite 600, Washington, D.C. 20036. MAG America. 202-293-1908. maginternational.org. 1776 K Street NW, Suite 700, Washington, D.C. 20006. Meridian International Center. 202-667-6800. Meridian.org. 1630 Crescent Place NW Washington, D.C. 20009. Roots of Development. 202-466-0805. rootsofdevelopment.org. 1325 18th Street Northwest Unit 303 Washington, D.C. 20036. Latino Community D.C. Area Nonprofit Websites. The Latino Student Fund, LSF. Educational Campus, 1200 Clifton Street NW DC 20009. LatinosStudentFund.org, 202-244-3438. Latin American Youth Center, LAYC. lacy-dc.org, 202-768-7800. 1419 Columbia Road Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. LAYC Career Academy Public Charter School, LAYCA. 202-866-0409 3224. laycca.org. 3224 16th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20010. Spanish Education Development Center, SED. 202-722-4404, extension 108. sedcenter.org. 4110 Kansas Avenue Northwest Washington, D.C. 20542. The Family Place. 202-265-0149. thefamilyplackydc.org. 3309 16th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 2001. Adult Education, Employment, and Training. Carlos Rosario International Career Center. carlosrosario.org. 514 V Street NE, Washington, D.C. 2000222-734-4900, extension 402. Central American Resource Center of Washington, D.C., Carison. 202-328-9800. 9799. caresendc.org. 1460 Columbia Road, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. National Day Laborer Organizing Network, Endlin. AOL.com, 202-332-2873. 1419 V Street, NW, Suite 308, Washington, D.C. 20009. Casa Ruby. 202-355-5155. casarubetti.org. 2822 Georgia Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20001. La Clnica del Pueblo. lcdp.org, 202-462-0156. 2831 15th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. Latino GLBT History Project. 202-670-5547. LatinoGLBTHistory.org, online application. 2000 14th Street, Northwest Suite 105, Washington, D.C. 20009. Mayor's Office on Latino Affairs. 202-671-2823. ola.dc.gov. 2000 14th Street, Northwest Suite 200, Washington, D.C. 20009. Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund, MALDEF. 202-293-2828. maldef.org. 1016 16th Street, Northwest Suite 100, Washington, D.C. 20036. National Puerto Rican Coalition, Incorporated. 202-223-3915. nprcinc.org. 1220 L Street, NW, Suite 701, Washington, D.C. 20005. Unidas U.S. 202-785-1670. unidasus.org. 1126 16th Street, Northwest Suite 600, Washington, D.C. 20036. Gala Hispanic Theater, Grupo de Artistas Latinoamericanos. 202-234-7174. galatheater.org. 3333 14th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20010 H-Bus. Hola Cultura, D.C. holacultura.com/hola-cultura-internship-program/application. 202-696-9642. holacultura.com. LGIA plus DC area nonprofit websites at american.edu/ocl/volunteer/upload/lgbtqia.pdf. Brother Help Thyself. 202-347-2246. brotherhelpthyself.org. brotherhelpthyself.net. PO Box 77841, Washington, D.C. 20013. Impedirit. La Clínica del Pueblo. cldp.org, 202-870-6615. 202-507-4800. 3166 Mount Pleasant Street. NW, Washington, D.C. 20010. Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund and Leadership Institute. 202-842-8679, 202-628-9151. victoryfund.org. 1133 15th Street, Northwest Suite 350, Washington, D.C. 20005. Gay-Lesbian Straight Education Network, Gilson. 202-347-7780. glsn.org. 1001 Connecticut Avenue, Northwest Suite 206, Washington, D.C. 20036. Human Rights Campaign. 202-628-4160. hrc.org. 1640 Rhode Island Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C. 20036. Latino GLBT History Project. 202-670-5547. LatinoGLBThistory.org, online application. 2000, 14th Street Northwest Suite 105 Washington, D.C. 20009. Log Cabin Republicans. 202-420-7873. logcabin.org. 1090 Vermont Avenue. NW Suite 850 Washington, D.C. 20005. National Black Justice Coalition. 202-319-1552. nbjc.org. 1725 I Street NW, Washington, D.C. 20006. National Center for Transgender Equality, NCTE. 202-903-0112. transequality.org. 1400 16th Street Northwest Suite 510 Washington, D.C. 20005. National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, NGLCC. 202-234-9181. nglcc.org. 1990 K St. NW, Washington, D.C. 20006. National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, NGLTF. 202-393-5177. thetaskforce.org. 1325 Massachusetts Avenue. NW, Suite 600, Washington, D.C. 20005. Out for Work. 866-571-5428. outforwork.com. outforwork.org. 1325 Massachusetts Avenue NW, Suite 700, number 702, Washington, D.C. 20005. Parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays, Flag Metro, D.C. 202-638-3852. pflagdc.org. 1701 14th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. Pride at Work. 202-637-5014. prideatwork.org. 815 16th Street NW Washington, D.C. 20006. Sexual Minority Youth Assistance League, SMILE. smyal.org, 202-546-5940. 410 7th Street Southeast Washington, D.C. 20003. Middle East D.C. area nonprofit websites. American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, ADC. 202-244-2990, ADC. adc.org. 1705 DeSalle Street Northwest Suite 500 Washington, D.C. 20036. Arab American Institute, AAI. 202-429-9210. AAIUSA.org. 1600 K Street, NW Suite 601 Washington, D.C. 20006. Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR. cair.com/about-us/volunteer-with-us.html. 202-488-8787. 453 New Jersey Avenue SE. Washington, D.C. 20003. Education for Peace in Iraq, EPIC. epic-usa.org. 900 2nd Street Northeast Suite 216 Washington, D.C. 20002. Institute for Palestine Studies. 202-342-3990. palestine-studies.org. 3501 M Street, NW, Washington, D.C. 20007. International Center for Religious Diplomacy, ICRD. 202-331-9404. icrd.org. 1003 K Street, NW. Suite 400, Washington, D.C. 20001. The Jerusalem Fund. 202-338-1958. thejerusalemfund.org. 2425 Virginia Avenue NW. Washington, D.C. 20037. Karamah, Muslim Women Lawyers for Human Rights. 202-234-7302. Karamah.org. 1420 16th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20036. Middle East Institute, May. MEI.edu, 202-785-1141. MEI.edu, 202-785-1141, extension 206. 1319 18th Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20036. Muslim Women's Association. MWA WashingtonDC.org. 3430 Connecticut Avenue NW. Washington, D.C. 20008. National Council on U.S. Arab Relations. 202-293-6466. ncusar.org. 1730 M. St. N.W., Suite 503, Washington, D.C. 20036. Refugee and Immigration D.C. Area Nonprofit Websites. African Immigrant and Refugee Foundation. 301-593-0241. airfound.org. 11350 Baroque Road, Silver Spring, Maryland 20901. AUDA. AUDA.com, 202-387-4848. 6925 B. Willow Street, NWDC 20012. Capital Area Immigration Rights, CAIR Coalition. CAIRcoalition.org. 1612 K Street, NWDC 20006, Suite 204. Central American Resource Center of Washington, D.C., Carison. 202-328-9799. caresendc.org. 1460 Columbia Road, Northwest Washington, D.C. Education for Peace in Iraq, EPIC. enablingpeace.org. epic-usa.org. 1140 3rd Street Northeast 2nd floor, Washington, D.C. 20002. Ethiopian Community Development Council Incorporated. ECDC. 703-685-0510. ecdcus.org. 901 South Highland Street, Arlington, Virginia 22204. Immigration and Refugee Services of America, IRSA. 202-797-2105. irsa-uscr.org. rep4uugsusa.org. 1717 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest Suite 200 Washington, D.C. 20036. International Rescue Committee, IRC. 301-562-8633. rescue.org. rescue.org/volunteer-opportunities/silver-spring-md. 8719 Colesville Road, 3rd floor, Silver Spring, Maryland 20910. Institute for East African Councils on Higher Education, IEA Councils. 202-997-6684. IEAcouncils.org. 3636 16th Street, NW, Washington, D.C. 20010. Lutheran Social Services Refugee Resettlement and Placement. 202-723-3000. lssnca.org. 4406 Georgia Avenue Northwest Washington, D.C. 20011. Mary House. 202-780-5137. maryhouse.org. Refugee Alliance Network, RAN. 702-752-8809. Facebook.com/ARAGRCI. Field Office, C/ORRUU Congregation 6301, River Road, Bethesda, Maryland 20817-5825. Main Office, 2822 Georgia Avenue Northwest Washington, D.C. 20001. Refugees International. 202-828-0110. RefugeesInternational.org. 1800 M Street, NW Suite 405N, Washington, D.C. 20036. Women for Women International. 202-737-7705. WomenForWomen.org. 2000 M Street, NW, Suite 200, Washington, D.C. 20036. Senior Welfare D.C. Area Nonprofit Websites. Iona. 202-895-9448. Iona.org. 4125 Albemarle Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20016. Seabury Age in Place. 202-635-9384 EXT 102. SeaburyResources.org. 2501 18th Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. 20018. Alliance for Aging Research. 202-293-2856. AgingResearch.org. 1700 K St. N.W., Suite 740, Washington, D.C. 20006. Armed Forces Retirement Home. 202-541-7627. AFRH.gov. 700 North Capitol Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. 20011. Arts for the Aging. 301-255-0103. AFTAarts.org. 12320 Park Lawn Drive, Rockville, Maryland 20852. D.C. Center for Independent Living. 202-388-0033. DCCIL.org. 1400 Florida Avenue NE Suite 300, Washington, D.C. 20002. MOU Services for the Aging. The Washington Peace Center. 202-234-2000. WashingtonPeaceCenter.org. 1525 Newton Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20010. Friendship Terrace, Seabury Resources. 202-244-7400. SeaburyResources.org. FriendshipTerrace.com. 4201 Butterworth Place, NW Washington, D.C. 20016. Sarah's Circle. 202-332 to 1400 EXT 11. sarahcircle.org. 2551 17th Street Northwest No. 103, Washington, D.C. 20009. Stoddard Baptist Global Care at the Washington Center for Aging Services. 202-541-6200. WCASDC.org. StoddardBaptistGlobal.org. 2601 18th Street Northeast Washington, D.C. 20018. Vida Spanish Senior Center. 202-483-5800. VitaSeniorCenters.org. 1842 Calvert Street Northwest Washington, D.C. 20009. We Are Family. Seniors in the Shaw, North Capitol Street, Adams Morgan, Petworth, and Columbia Heights. 202-487-8698. We'reFamilyDC.org. 1525 Newton Street, NW Washington, D.C. 20010.